She walked down the aisle wearing a borrowed veil and a look of disbelief. Not hers, everyone else's. The photographers pretended to care. The guests whispered like she was a ghost. And the billionaire's family, they were already planning her downfall. How could a cleaning lady from Brazil, who once scrubbed public restrooms with bleach and gloves too big for her hands, be marrying him? Rajan Singh, heir to one of India's oldest royal fortunes, owner of 12 companies, and known worldwide as the man who never even dated someone below the Forbes list, that wedding wasn't born out of love, at least not the kind people talk about. It was born out of urgency, scarcity, fear. It was a rescue mission disguised in silk and scandal. And it all started 3 weeks before that wedding, in the back room of a crumbling house, when she opened a forgotten cabinet and found something that was never meant to be found. But let's stay in this moment a little longer. The altar is decorated with thousands of white orchids. A violinist plays a melody so dramatic it could resurrect ancestors. She stands in front of Rajan, trying not to shake. He doesn't smile, not once. And his brothers? They look ready to pounce. One is already texting a lawyer. The other is filming for the evidence, he says. What did she do to deserve this hatred? Why would a billionaire risk his empire for her? Why would his family rather burn the inheritance than let her touch it? The answer is terrifyingly simple. She was the only one who knew the truth, and someone in that room would rather see her dead than let her say it. Before we rewind time and uncover the secret that led to this chaotic marriage, ask yourself, would you marry someone you barely knew if it meant saving your family from losing everything? A secret hidden in a rotten cleaning cabinet. The day it all began smelled like mold, lemon disinfectant, and the end of her patience. Anna, yes, that's her name, was finishing another 12-hour shift in a downtown building in São Paulo. She'd cleaned floors that weren't hers, bathrooms that others had destroyed, and windows that reflected nothing but the life she no longer believed she'd ever live. The rent was overdue. The house her grandmother built with her bare hands was about to be auctioned off. She opened the back cabinet in the janitor's closet to grab more detergent, and the door nearly fell off. Behind a false back panel, she saw something that didn't belong. It was a sealed envelope, thick, yellowed by time, with a wax stamp she didn't recognize. At first, she thought it was just someone's lost document. But then she saw her grandmother's name, in perfect, almost royal handwriting. Inside was a letter signed by a man named Rajan Pratap Singh, a name she had only ever heard once, whispered by her grandmother when she was too tired to filter truth from memory. The letter was old, very old, but the promise inside it, still very much alive. It stated in legal and crystal clear terms that should Dona Maria de Andrade, or her blood descendants, ever face financial ruin, Rajan Singh's estate would transfer ownership of a protected property under one condition: the descendant must arrive in Mumbai before the last day of the fiscal year, and they must request the inheritance in person. Anna couldn't breathe. It was absurd, ridiculous, impossible. But the stamp was real. The signature matched documents she found online. The law firm mentioned in the letter still existed, and the most insane part, the deadline was in exactly 11 days. She had nothing to lose. Literally, no savings, no job security, no time. She pawned her grandmother's only remaining gold bracelet, bought a one-way ticket, and stepped onto a plane to India with a suitcase full of borrowed clothes and a letter that could either save her life or turn it into an international joke. What she didn't know, what no one had told her, was that the letter was never supposed to reach her, and her arrival in Mumbai, it was already being watched. The deal that changed everything, and a dinner that almost destroyed it. The heat in Mumbai hit her like a punishment, but it was nothing compared to the cold reception at the mansion gates. They knew she was coming, not because they were expecting her, but because they had been warned. Ina stepped into the Singh family estate wearing second-hand shoes and the only dress that didn't scream desperation. The guards looked her up and down like she was delivery staff. Inside, marble floors reflected the chandeliers, and silence replaced welcome. A man in a tailored grey suit finally approached her. He didn't smile. He introduced himself as Vikram, Rajan's private advisor. He escorted her through halls of gold-plated columns and paintings worth more than her grandmother's entire street. But behind all that wealth, Anna could feel it. Something was wrong. Vikram spoke plainly. Rajan wasn't available. The document she brought had created complications, legal ones. The property Anna claimed now sat in the middle of a dispute involving Rajan's nephews, two men infamous for their arrogance, their legal power, and their hatred for anything that threatened their future inheritance. They had already filed an injunction to block her. Anna thought she was walking into an office to sign papers, but no, she was walking into a trap. That's when Vikram laid it on the table. There was a loophole, an old clause buried in the Singh family code of succession. If Anna married a Singh family member, especially Rajan himself, the property would pass to her, uncontested, as part of a spousal share. Marry a billionaire she had never met, to save a house that was already half gone. He gave her 24 hours to decide. That night, she was invited to a dinner. It wasn't a meal, it was a performance. The nephews were there, seated like judges at a firing squad. They made jokes about Brazil, mocked her accent, poured wine she didn't ask for. One even offered her cash to go home. But then Rajan arrived, silence. He entered with the posture of a king and the eyes of someone who'd seen every kind of betrayal. He didn't look at her, not once, but he spoke calmly and clearly across the table. If you accept, the wedding will be discreet. It will last until the papers are processed. No romance, no expectations, just strategy. Anna didn't flinch. She lifted her glass and answered in the only way she could. When do we start? What she didn't realize was that someone had recorded the entire dinner, and that video would almost destroy everything. They wanted her to fall, but she rose. The wedding happened behind tall gates and cold stairs. No music, no guests, just signatures, whispers, and threats disguised as smiles. She wore a dress chosen by others. The photographers avoided her face. The nephews didn't show up, but their lawyers did. Everyone assumed Anna would break in less than a week. They underestimated the girl who'd cleaned blood off hospital floors and scrubbed vomit from nightclub bathrooms at dawn. But the real war began after the ceremony. First, they locked her out of meetings. Then they removed her name from the house registry. Her bedroom was moved to the old servant quarters. Her clothes gone. Her translator forgot to show up. Her bank card stopped working. They wanted her to give up. Quietly, shamefully. But Anna had seen worse, and she had something they didn't. She listened. While the heirs threw parties and burned cash, Anna sat beside Rajan during his sleepless nights. She brought tea, but more importantly, she brought silence, the kind that invites confession. One night, he asked her why she hadn't left. Her answer: "Because I didn't come here for the money. I came because my grandmother died, believing your family owed her something. I won't let her memory be erased." For the first time, he looked at her like she wasn't just part of a transaction. And then everything changed. Rajan moved her back to the main house. He assigned her a private guard. The nephews raged, but the will was now protected under spousal law. They couldn't touch her. Anna started attending dinners again, this time seated beside Rajan. She asked questions. She learned fast, too fast. That's when someone leaked the dinner video, the one from weeks earlier, showing Anna agreeing to the marriage with a smirk, captured mid-sentence. It went viral. Headlines screamed, "Gold digger manipulates Indian billionaire." Rajan said nothing for days, until in a live press conference meant to dissolve the marriage, He held Anna's hand in front of cameras and said only one thing. You can fake words, you can fake contracts, but you can't fake loyalty. And the next day, one of the nephews vanished, a will unsealed, and a finale no one saw coming. The nephew didn't vanish on vacation. He fled the country. And when he did, something far more explosive surfaced. A second will. It had been locked in the old Singh vault, untouched for years, dismissed as irrelevant. But now, with the chaos, the press, the accusations, it was reopened. Inside, Rajan's late father had left a handwritten codicil, a clause that only activated in case of internal family betrayal. And betrayal had now been proven. The missing nephew had been laundering funds through fake charities and blaming Anna to distract everyone. The clause named Anna not as a spouse or outsider, but as an official beneficiary, tied not by blood, but by an old pact between her grandmother and the Singh patriarch. It was true. Decades ago, when Rajan's father visited Brazil on a political mission, he had nearly died in a flood. A local woman pulled him from the current, gave him shelter and refused money. Her name was Maria de Andrade. His gratitude turned into a lifelong debt. That letter Anna found wasn't a favor, it was a promise. And Rajan? He had known. He just didn't know she was that woman's granddaughter. Suddenly, the story flipped. Anna became untouchable. The media spun the narrative again, from gold digger to miracle heiress. Influencers begged for interviews. Magazine covers offered her more than she made in a year just to smile. But Anna didn't flinch. She refused them all. And just when everyone thought the dust had settled, she dropped the final blow. In a handwritten letter sent to the board of the Singh Corporation, she declined the fortune. She kept the house her grandmother had almost lost. She secured scholarships for the staff's children. And she signed away her stake in the company on one condition: the missing nephew would never return to a position of power. Rajan read her letter in silence. Then he smiled for the first time. Not because he'd lost or won, but because he finally understood. She hadn't married him to save a house. She'd married him to remind his world what dignity looked like when dressed in humility. If this story moved you, share this video with someone who needs a reason to believe in second chances. And don't forget to hit like, so the algorithm understands that stories like this matter. And if you want to hear what happened next, because yes, there's more, subscribe and turn on notifications.